It's a perfect 10-0 Monday morning for the Flames. A perfect 10. Been called that a time or two in my life. I'm just joking.
We're starting out.
We're starting out
with
hot.
lies. Yeah.
Keep it humble. That's what they got to keep in that humble pie.
I mean, you're on Caden Salter about keeping it humble.
Right,
And now you're
and
calling
here we
yourself
go.
a 10.
No,
Unbelievable. Salter, don't listen to a word she said.
I'm talking about one morning I was a 6, the next I was a 4. You combine it, and I'm a perfect 10. 2 days. Okay, we're not starting off.
Let's just get.
All right, I'm really.
How about them Flames, baby?
No.
Let's go.
Should we redo this?
No,
let's go.
Whatever. Because now
Roll
you
it.
guys are making me look or feel bad.
You're beautiful.
Anyways,
Emily.
not only that.
Inside and out.
I finally take your advice, and then now look what it's doing to me. Hey, guess what? Diego Pavia and those Aggies are coming back to the Berg for the CUSA Championship.
Is that 100%?
100%.
It's 100%.
100% chance
No
of
way
Aggies.
around it.
No way around
There's
it.
no ducking them. They're rolling back in. Jerry
Really?
Kill, Diego Pavia, Star Thomas, the whole group. They're all coming back.
If I told you in the beginning of the season
Third time.
that we would be going into week 12 of play and Western Kentucky is an even 3-3 in the conference.
Disappointing season for them.
Out. They're
What?
out.
Ow.
Very disappointing compared to the expectations going in.
Yeah.
You bring back your stud quarterback. You thought
I mean, they got beat by Jacksonville State, who's a first year.
Right.
All right, FBS,
Who,
right?
Don't you think they're... gosh, those fans have to be just fired
I would
up.
be so.
Yeah, no doubt.
So disappointed that they are
Beat by
frustrated.
Liberty, beat by Liberty, beat by New Mexico State.
at home to both Liberty and New Mexico State.
The Flames did not move up in the rankings.
Yeah,
They're still
we get
sitting
to
there at 25.
We need to
Say
talk
what
about
you
that.
want, but
gotta
I
talk
have a
about it.
whole list that I got from someone on Twitter of comparing the
It's
stats
got to be true.
to
If it's on-
Tulane.
It's on Twitter.
Yeah, I
called
believe
X.
every.
Elon checks all that stuff.
It's
It doesn't
called
go out if it's
X.
not.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't.
But when you look at these numbers of comparing it against Tulane
Yeah.
and all
Let me
that,
see that thing.
Yeah.
you could take a look at that. But our guy Chris Vanini,
What does Vanini
welcome
say?
to the bandwagon because he
Yeah.
was just having his Sunday,
I'm sure he loves hearing
What did
that.
Vanini say?
Vanini said his Sunday thoughts were,
Did he go
we got to
Sunday thoughts?
really look at the 10-0 Flames.
Why don't I ever have any thoughts on Sunday?
Yeah,
Seems like
well,
a...
because you wasted them all on the
You
broadcast.
exhausted
Yeah, I
on
had none
Saturday.
left. Yeah,
You had none left after the
that's
broadcast.
pretty
Caden
accurate.
Salter made the number 8 top 10 plays on
did.
Sports Center, so that was cool to see. But Vanini,
Which-
exactly.
I didn't see it. Which play did he
His
make?
first touchdown where he
His first
Oh,
time.
yeah,
And I
that
loved
was
his
good.
little
went
dance.
back and danced with the cheerleaders.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you
man.
love the dance now. I can't keep up with
Yeah.
her. Oh, I love it. I love
I'm
it.
a
And then I
10.
go, oh, don't do too
I'm
much.
a 10.
Oh,
I
dance
hate
with the
to
cheerleaders.
dance.
Oh, don't dance.
Stay humble.
Oh.
Dance the
Oh,
cheerleaders.
man.
You are all
You're
over
like the
map.
weather.
You guys
Is it
are,
rainy days? Is it
Yeah.
sunny? What is
you
it?
guys have no brain cells
We
because
just
you're not
listen to you.
listening.
We're
No,
the only
you're
one.
not. Okay, I tell this in my speeches whenever I'm talking to the kindergartners. There's a big difference
That was good.
of listening and hearing. Are
Put
you guys
your-
listening
put
to me
your
or do you
listening
just
ears
hear me?
on.
Because right now all I do is hear you guys being.
Put your listening ears on.
Okay, I have a
Matt,
problem.
Matt, put your listening ears on. Let her go. Let her go. Put your
All right,
listening
put
ears
them all on,
Yeah.
both of you, at the
Yes.
same time. One,
Yes.
two, three.
Yes,
put your
mother.
put your thinking
yes,
caps
mother,
on.
listening ears on. Go.
I think that there is a big difference in going out of bounds and talking trash and making hand gestures to the opposing team and dancing with the Liberty cheerleaders. To me, that is a big difference. I love the dancing cheerleaders and having fun. When you have an issue that can lead to getting a penalty, I'm not okay with that. Stay humble.
I think I just
and he took my advice.
I may need this in writing, just your defined, where's the line?
I'm
this
getting
does
really
not
hot
cross it,
already.
this does,
It's getting
can't
really
do
warm
this,
in here.
Can't do that.
Chris Vanini said, Sunday thoughts, it's time to really consider Liberty for that group of 5 New Year's 6 spot. They're 10-0, and Tulane has 4 straight one-score escapes from some pretty bad teams. Joe Yock is reviewing the footage now.
Yeah.
Tulane has UTSA and maybe the AAC title game to play.
Tulane has one win against a team with a winning record.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. By the way, who would have thought that New Mexico State win from early in the year would look as good as it does now. For Liberty.
Yeah.
You know, that looks pretty nice. Same with Bowling Green.
So,
that win also looks pretty good right about now.
Yeah,
that's just when you look at this. Maybe I'll put these stats and everything. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel,
keep this in mind as well. Liberty, and I know people knock the schedule, and we can get into that. But Liberty also hasn't played an FCS team on the schedule this year, right? They're going all FBS schedule. So take that into account too when you start like knocking, strength of schedule and all that.
Hey, Emily, what your point made about the Caden Salter thing was a good point.
Yeah, maybe I'll clip that off and use it for the tease. We never use anything for me for the tease.
It was a good point. It was a good point. It's a very fair point. You don't want the taunting to the other team.
It is about time.
You don't want the taunting to the other team. Celebrate with your team, with your fans. That's perfectly fine. That's the point you're trying to make. It was a very good point.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
You said that really well.
Yeah.
If you had just said it like that initially,
well, I
think
didn't
we
know
would have all
that. I
understood.
forgot about the word taunting. Sometimes big words are hard for me.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Now that you cleared that up,
team player.
I'm understanding now what you're trying to say. Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Chadwell had something to say after this victory, and I loved this energy. He was fired up. We quoted him saying, or he was quoted saying, so I don't want to hear about, you don't play anybody going off this topic. Our conference got us prepared for this game, and you saw what happened. We'll take on anybody, anywhere, and I believe in our team and our conference.
Two things.
Right.
First off,
I want
a few things. I've got a few thoughts on this. First, number one.
Is this Matt's minute?
I love it.
It's Matt's minute.
It's Matt's minute. I love it when any coach says, or player, anybody, anytime, anywhere. That fires me up every time.
Makes me a little nervous.
Now on the flip side, that's also something that you have no control over.
Yeah, right.
And you can say that, but guess what? The schedule's already set next year. It's already set the rest of the year. So it's easy to say, you can't actually do. You know what I mean? It's not like there's, you know what? Well, UMass is out. Georgia, we're playing you next week. You can't do that. But I'm fired up about that. And I'm fired up that Jamie Chadwell has seemed to start making the shift from, hey, we just got to win. We just got to take care of the games in front of us, yada, yada. To now it's like, okay, enough's enough. We're 10-0. Like, how about we start getting a little love? And here's what I would say. This is my take moving forward. We've said on this program before, it may have been after the Sam Houston game, whatever, hey, there's no style points. Win's a win's a win. You know what? I'm trying to hang 60 on everybody right now if I'm Jamie Chadwell. Because I'm going to say, style points do matter. Because you're not just playing against the team in front of you. Apparently, you're playing against perception as well. Yeah. You're playing against your strength of schedule, which we know isn't great. And you're playing against this national perception that, you don't really belong with the two lanes of this world, which, as you said, there's some stats that throw that into question. So if I'm Liberty right now, I'm not playing the, hey, we get up 38-10, we start to call off the dogs, or 38-3 or whatever. I'm playing like we're race to 60 because you can't, just beating a team soundly apparently isn't enough. Liberty dominated that game against a good Sun Belt team. That's not enough? Okay, then we need to catch some eyes by hanging 60 on
one foot on the gas, the other foot on the steering wheel.
Love it.
Right.
Don't you think?
So taking down ODU 38-10, Chadwell said Liberty and our conference doesn't get the respect that we deserve. What kind of statement did the Flames make on Saturday?
I mean, they've made a good statement for the whole year by being 10-0. No, but here's the deal. This is what we're looking at right now. We're looking at Liberty is moving from one perception to the next perception, right? So you have a team that just joined the FBS 5 years, 6 years ago, whatever it was. So can they compete there? The answer to that question has been yes. So it's a steady climb up the mountain. It's like what Coach Chow always talks about, another checkpoint. Right? Another check. So now within the checkpoints are, okay, we've gotten to the point where we're a bowl team, bowl eligible team, FBS, consistent bowl eligible team, to now becoming an undefeated team. So now you're trying to take that checkpoint to the next level. So you start getting your name mentioned with the big dogs. So that's sort of where the program's at right now. Now, what is the reality of it? The reality of it is, when does that actually happen? In my personal opinion, what happens is what you just said. You're 10-0 now. You got to win every game. You probably have to win a couple of those games, at least the next two, pretty decisively, and go ahead and keep the pedal down, and then go undefeated for the season, okay? Yep. At that point, you're going to get a team at 13-0, whatever the record is at that point, 13-0, you're going to get a team that is respected on a national level, okay? So now it's like, okay, you got what you wished for.
Yeah.
You go into that bowl game, and if you can find a way to win that bowl game against a nationally respected team, then you're 14-0, okay? And now the college football playoffs comes into play for the following season, correct? That's next year when they go to it, right? Now you do have the respect on a national level by being undefeated with a win over a team that is respected when everybody else has said, your schedule's no good, you're not respected on a national level. You gotta get to undefeated, you gotta win that bowl game, and then it happens.
Because think about this, Tulane isn't ahead of us just based off, like, say what you want. It's not just based off their resume this season.
Correct.
It's based off they go and beat USC in a bowl game, the Cotton Bowl last year.
Correct.
And they had a great year and proved it. And it's what you said from the get-go, is that to get your name in that conversation, it's not just what you do now.
Right.
It's you got to do it now.
It's a body
and you got to come back, and that sets yourself up for next year. It shouldn't be, I get it.
Yeah.
Year to year should be its own animal, but it's not. It's
Well, that's
not
just being
because
in a
you
group
go
of
in
five
based,
team,
based on the early season rankings. So much of that is off reputation, what you've done
Correct.
before, and that's why Tulane basically had a head start on Liberty anyway because of what they did last season. Whether they're nearly as good as that team a year ago or not.
Correct.
So you want Tulane to lose, obviously, but
Sure.
Yeah.
tell us about the salt in the wound.
Oh yeah. Well, we mentioned that on the broadcast, and we had Shedro Lewis 100-yard kickoff return for Tulane in that game. Come on,
on,
Shed. Yeah, come on. Yeah,
But anyway, so
Good for
you
Shed.
both can agree that Liberty should have moved up in those rankings.
I mean, I don't know.
Because,
I honestly really don't care.
yeah,
to be honest with you.
I guess that
It doesn't matter.
that's
You
true.
got to go 13-0. You got to beat that big time ball, and
Here's
then
when I'll
you
care.
watch what happens next
Here's
year.
when I will care. I'm with you. Like right now, yeah, does it kind of, okay, that was ODU was a better win than you had the week before, and you couldn't really, but here's where I'll care, is if Tulane drops a game and Liberty finishes out, and they still put Tulane or some other group of five ahead of Liberty.
Right.
That's when I'll care.
Where are the rankings at?
Tulane's
right?
at 17 right
Okay,
now.
and then who's next after that? Liberty, right? There's nobody in between.
Yeah, because
us.
JMU probably not going to
JMU is
get the
not-
waiver
yeah.
they need. So, yeah,
Right.
there you go.
Wait, I have a question about the JMU situation because they definitely can't play in the New Year's Six, correct?
Unless they get a waiver from the NCAA, which I think this
okay.
week they're going to decide.
Here's one thing that you see online about like everybody comparing these wins of like, oh, Liberty beat this team by this many points and yada yada. But then I like that argument, but then on the same other hand, I'm like, okay, well, look what happened with Sam Houston State. Look what happened with some of like the lesser, teams that Liberty did have some struggles with.
No, you're right.
So
But
yes, they JMU only beat this ODU team by 3, but Liberty barely
I will say this,
got
it's a
away with the win over
dangerous
Sam
game
Houston.
when you start doing we beat so-and-so
I don't like
by
score
how many,
comparisons.
they
I
beat
don't
so-and-so
either.
by
Yeah,
them.
I
You
know
start comparing because it never ends.
It never ends, and you never
ends.
know
And
what
you
the
can always
situation-
kind of spin it whichever way you want.
Right.
So that's a dangerous game to play.
Right.
here's what I know. That after watching them play Old Dominion this weekend, that if outside of probably your top 4 teams, and then you look at a team like Iowa, okay? Outside of those teams, there isn't a defense in the country that really wants to play against this Liberty offense.
Yeah.
Right? This offense, they are clicking right now. So when you look at some of these other teams out there that are winning still, the Washingtons, they would not want to play against this offense. I'm not saying they wouldn't beat them because they probably can score too, but this Liberty offense is clicking right now, and it's finally taken that, late into the season here where they've been done well, but now they're rolling, and you don't want to play against them.
Liberty right now, they moved into the number 1 rushing offense in the nation.
They're number 1 now.
Number one. They're 10th in the nation in points per game. They're 10th in the nation in third down conversion percentage. They're 1st in the nation in time of possession.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that's firing on all cylinders. Right
Yeah.
now.
You wouldn't want to play them. Like that's what the good news is most likely if they go 13-0, they're going to get a matchup in a bowl game against somebody that they're going to be able to score on. And if you can run the ball the way that they run the ball, and Salter can play the way that he's playing, and C.J. Daniels can continue to be the downfield threat that he is, there is no doubt that they're always going to be in the game.
Yeah.
They're always going to be in the game.
This stat is crazy to me. Tulane has won the last 4 games against teams with a 12-28 record by a combined 14 points. Yeah. Listen to this stat. Liberty has won the last 4 games against teams with a 15-27 record. So you're almost looking at the same comparison in terms of record between these two teams. But Liberty has won those last 4 games by a combined 74 points. Yeah. 74 to Tulane's 14.
The bottom line.
Like, they are hot.
Are we going back to hashtag bottom line?
Hashtag bottom line.
Okay, yeah.
Just keep winning.
Just keep winning.
What would Al Davis say?
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
That's it.
Okay, let's look ahead a little bit to this conference championship game. I know we're supposed to be 1-0 and focusing on UMass this week, which we will be back on the call for. You guys have fun up there in the booth. You guys,
that was a lot of
you guys
fun.
had a great call. You guys did really well.
And Emily Austin with her reporting from the sidelines.
Thank you so much for making sure everyone knew about my Hunter Green connection.
See that? You did that on purpose.
You know what? I didn't. It just comes natural, baby.
You just knew it was going to. I thought she had that bit in where she's going to wear the camo.
I thought she brought a bag with like 12 different colored like accessories. So
it looked great. You matched perfect.
Thank you so much. That was like really that's all I think about, on game day is like, am I matching?
Is she looking good?
No, it's more like, is my eyelash sticking on? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so looking ahead to that conference championship game, what makes you most excited about, you know what I think? I think Jerry Kill, how last year they had that hot finish because Jerry Kill said, I'll get a tattoo if we become bowl eligible. He might have said, I'll get a face tat.
Well, I think we said he's going to get the Mike Tyson look. Yeah, he's going to get the Mike Tyson tat.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
I mean, I'm
Jerry
just excited.
Kill has those boys playing.
They're playing great. All credit to him. Listen,
I love Jerry Kill.
There are not a lot of coaches that would take that job. I mean, let's just put it that way. Not a lot of coaches that would take that job. That program was in a bad spot.
So old.
And he has turned it around and done so quickly.
Yeah.
So huge props to him. Great coach, doing a great job out there.
They got beat by UMass the first game.
And they lost to UMass.
I know.
They lost to UMass first game.
Yeah. So it'll be so much fun. I'm glad we get one more chance to see Diego Pavia in Williams Stadium. That is going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're a fun team.
If we do the pregame show for the conference,
are you going to be on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you get to do the coach interview.
Yes.
I want the Jerry Kill coach interview to be the best interview Matt Warner's ever done. And I want you to hold him for a really long time.
Just see if I can get like 6 questions.
questions.
And another thing.
Jerry, as you walk, Jerry, come back.
You're in the UMass or in the
following in.
Jerry Kill interview is going to be a great one.
In the locker. Matt, I'm going to go on Amazon and see if they can.
Can I do it sleeveless?
You should. No,
with a matching
not
tattoo.
Sleeveless.
Can I do it with a matching Jerry Kill tattoo?
Oh my gosh.
It's a Liberty pregame show. I can't do that.
You could do it.
You could definitely do it.
I'll buy you the sports coat that you can cut the sleeve. So you have one sleeve on,
but then we'll get you Amazon
What is this
tattoos.
tattoo of?
It's
2
like
guns,
pistols?
2 pistols, and then it has the Aggies guy, forget the cowboy looking guy, and then I think it says
bowl game or something.
NM Aggies. I think
Beautiful.
Beneath it. I
wonder if we could print that off and somehow get it on, print it off into some type of temporary tattoo.
Do like an outline.
If I can get Xana to sign off on me actually getting the actual matching tattoo.
Hannah things or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They last like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we got time to look into this.
Yeah, let's look into this.
Let's look into this.
Hey, before we preview UMass, we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. I want to mention that November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. We talked about this a little bit on the broadcast on Saturday.
That was great.
Thanks. CJ Daniels' mom has been living with epilepsy for the last 3 decades. So she is very passionate about helping others in the epilepsy community with not only raising awareness, but whatever resources they need, the educational tools and stuff. So she was just honored. It's the National Community-Based, oh man, I knew I was gonna forget this. She was awarded with the Unsung Hero Award at yesterday's reception. So
oh, nice.
Just want to give her a shout out. Natalie has been great things in that community. Also want to mention and keep Ryan Carr's daughter in our prayers. She was just diagnosed with epilepsy back in September. So she we're going to get them connected this weekend because Natalie will be back on the mountain. And just wanted to, if you want more information on Natalie's charity, Angels of Epilepsy, she's doing some great stuff with that community. So wanted to thank her for
Where's
that.
CJ Daniels from?
Atlanta
area.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's move on to some other sports that we need to hit. Unfortunately, women's soccer and field hockey both ended their season.
Heartbreakers, especially field hockey. Up 1-0, late in regulation.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, we had boots on the ground there. We had our guy Donald Scott from
was
Flame
there.
Central. He was there.
Don took the
He
trip
is a
down.
huge fan, and he was there. And
I heard
based
it
off
was
what
not
he
good.
told
Not
me,
good.
there were some
Questionable
calls that did not go the Flames' way late that allowed Syracuse to send it to overtime and then win in OT. So frustrating loss, certainly.
Well, what a great season for the girls. What a great season.
That team has
Number-
established itself as a contender year
very
in and year out. One of the best field hockey programs in the nation.
Beat the number 1 team in the program.
Right.
I mean, in the nation, Tar Heels.
Yeah, so you have to replace some legends, but
It's just really, really tough.
yeah.
Soccer team.
Soccer team.
Soccer
and they
team had an incredible season,
did.
but dropped.
battled. They tied it up against
Yep.
Georgia 1-1 and then unfortunately fell in that one.
Dropped.
But yeah, I mean they
Georgia.
pushed them.
I know,
Yeah.
those Bulldogs.
Oh,
So they ended their season with that 2-1 loss to Georgia, but still 2 great seasons. Really, really bummed
That's
too.
another program that the standard now is winning conference
See,
and
I
making.
bet they don't
yeah.
have to worry about getting respect right now.
Nope.
Like they've worked their way
Yep.
to the
Yep.
to
Oh, yeah.
the top. So the Flames football program's coming. Don't you worry about that.
Another thing that can be frustrating is buying a home.
Yeah.
But when you have a guy on your side like Joe Yock, he's Yock Talk, baby. And he can help, especially if you have ties with Liberty University.
Bang. Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, that was a really good lead. Yes, for all you alumni, and employees, just remember, up to $5,000 off your closing costs, real money,
Cash.
not Jeffrey dollars, not Cole's cash.
Wait, does it come on a big check?
Can you get it?
You get it written on a big check.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
We've taken
always
two.
wanted
We've
a
taken
big
2 big
check.
check pictures. We've taken 2 big check pictures. We got more coming, right? So go to alcova.com/liberty. Right there, got a nice page set up for you. You can apply right there.
So Joe, let's
Off
say you
go.
don't live in Lynchburg. What do you can you help people that are outside of Virginia?
Nationwide. It's almost too easy. Yock Talk.
Because we've got people in Idaho that listen a lot. We've got people in North Carolina, Pennsylvania. We hear from these people all the time. So it's not just Virginia people.
Okay, so here's the scoop.
Give it to
Here's the full scoop. Alcova currently is licensed in 17 different states, right? I've picked up my license personally in most of those states. And as the deals come in, we'll continue to get those licenses. We've also partnered with Churchill Mortgage, which is Dave Ramsey's mortgage group. For anybody who lives outside of the states that we're not licensed, we will get connected them to a Churchill Mortgage rep, and they will give those people the exact same deal that
You take care of everybody, Jeff.
Everyone's taken care of nationwide.
Boy.
I believe the only place that I can do it is New York. New York is a pain in the neck to get your licensing in.
Well,
So that's
you don't
the
wanna
only
live
one.
there anyway.
So we're not worried about New York. But outside of that, everybody else, you're all taken care
There you
of.
go.
Awesome. So great to have Alcova. By the way, this is a Flame Central podcast, and it is powered by Alcova Mortgage. I keep forgetting to say that when we start the podcast, just because it's such a staple these days. Wait, do we have the email that Doug can read from Bill?
Yes.
Wait, one
Okay,
more thing.
not right now.
That's a whole
Not
other-
right now.
One more
That's a
thing.
whole
One more thing. For the conferences, we're gonna start pumping this up. The conference, we've been doing the ticket giveaways.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, those have been great.
Hey, I think Emily.
But I don't know why you're not jumping in the pool. Just because it drops below 40, you're
we can do a polar bear plunge. Hey, but here's what I want to do. I got an idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna have you. I came up with this idea the other day. We're gonna have you two compete against each other in like the not the mile, like the Dr. Pepper, like the Dr. Pepper, like the Dr. Pepper.
You can't
I would
tackle in the middle of a
Oh,
mile.
really? Oh, when did that become a rule?
And track.
This isn't an officially sanctioned event. This is like
I don't know why we're talking about us running a mile when Joe Yock.
Don't worry about that. Get back to this.
Okay.
We're gonna do a Conference USA. 2-ticket club level giveaway for the championship games.
Ooh, Jason and I want to go to that.
Yeah, and you're not going to be allowed to be in the entry. And listen. Here's my ideas. I have not shared this with you yet. We do like the Dr. Pepper challenge, where you guys have somebody you're playing for, you have somebody you're playing for, and then we're throwing the footballs into the thing as fast as we can, and whoever throws that person's gets the tickets.
We represent.
You represent somebody.
You pick 2 finalists. And you represent each of them.
Yeah, and then they go against each other.
Love this.
And we have a Dr. Pepper challenge.
I can throw a mean
I need to get a
spiral.
big Alcova Mortgage thing.
While you mentioned that, one of the great pet peeves, or whatever you want to call it, is the Dr. Pepper challenge and all these little chest passes.
Yeah.
Get that garbage out of here. We're not playing basketball.
Oh, I got a mean
Throw
spiral.
it.
Joe,
So you can throw it?
Don't even look
Throw
at
a
me with
spiral
that.
like a man.
Do you know how to throw, Emily? I know how to throw a spiral. But
I'm in.
Are you in? All right, so we're going to start promoting. The
1000%.
Conference USA, Alcova Mortgage, Alcova Mortgage, Dr. Pepper Challenge. No. Alcova Mortgage.
Dr. Pepper's not involved.
Not involved.
Dr. Pepper.
Alcova Mortgage Challenge. Matt Warner versus Emily Austin will represent 2 different people for a chance to win 2 club-level tickets to the Conference USA Championship.
We need to start the drawing, or start the.
We got to start now.
we got to start now. So maybe, how do we submit?
We're going to get all that.
We'll get all that. We'll get all that information.
More details to come.
More details to come. But for now, go to Alcova Mortgage or alcova.com/liberty.
Yep.
Quick story that might actually help me get prepared for this event. We went down to Greenville last week for some features. Yeah. We're doing something on Willie Korn. So this isn't going to make the feature. Korn. So this is just like a cool story that we got from Larry with 1 R, L-A-R-Y, Korn, his dad. So Willie went to Clemson, had a bunch of injuries. I'm not. This is the most incredible part of the story that won't make this feature, unfortunately.
Oh, it's not going to make the feature. Okay. Sure.
Then he was looking for another home when he was going to transfer. And when he was on the second team, the scout team at Clemson, his form started getting all messed up because he didn't have someone watching him. Well, then his throwing, it was bad.
Jacked up.
It was bad. Yeah. So Larry with 1 R Korn got him in and made this this box out of. So he had to just go directly up here instead of going. And every time he would go back like that, his knuckles would go up against.
Scrape the knuckles.
And scrape the knuckles. It was just basically not cardboard, but like a piece of wood or something. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do that for my throwing motion to see.
Make sure Larry with 1 R.
Yeah. Larry with 1 R.
And have him rig that up for you for the next couple of weeks.
I need shorten that story next time, Matt. Is that what you said?
Well, the story too. The story too. Yeah, sure, both. Yeah.
Shorten the arm swing, shorten the story.
That's compared to Joe's story, and I need to shorten mine. Okay. But
you're
those stories.
You're in a tough spot. Because you got nothing. You got nothing to gain.
This is a no-win situation.
It's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
If you win, you're supposed to. If she beats you,
lose. Yeah.
You will never hear the end.
I will never.
Which is why you did not volunteer yourself.
Okay, so we have some other great features. Of course, we're doing the 4th annual pie eating contest with Liberty Football. We are shooting that tomorrow, so we will come.
Who's in it?
Xavier Gadlin is hosting it again, and he's going to be the 3 contestants. So those will be.
You have to watch next week. Well, that'll
make the show next week. So be on the lookout for that. We also have some, like I said, that story on Willie Korn and some other great stuff coming your way. If you miss any of those stories, LibertyFlamesCentral.com. Are you chilly?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know it's a little chilly. Let's talk a little basketball, and then we'll get to some of those mailbags.
The basketball seems to be good.
And our Snell scoring system.
Yeah.
And we'll get Flames, and of course the Flames.
Yeah. Basketball beats Charlotte in Charlotte at the Hornets Arena, 71-59 on Friday night.
Kyle Rowe, tell me what he scored.
Kyle Rowe, 20 points in that game.
All right, Kyle.
23.
The interesting thing about
it was number 23.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Michael Jordan? Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? We said about this team, they're going to have to be balanced in scoring. And you definitely saw that in this game. You saw Kyle Rowe was the leading scorer, and he played really well. Brody Peebles, I think, had 13 in the ball game. But then you take a look at the rest of this, and you get Matheny 9, Porter 8, Van Zant 6, Shiloh 7. You see just really good balance. So that's what we expect to see. The other thing that was a concern, and still could be, depending on who you run into, was size. Not a real big team for Liberty. 6'7" is about the biggest guy they'll run out there. They ran into a starting lineup for Charlotte that had a 6'10" and 6'11" guy in the lineup. and yet Liberty was able to out-rebound them 30-27 in the
Wow.
game. So that's impressive.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think
impressive.
JV had 8 boards in that one. So.
Yeah. So really solid win. That's Charlotte's in the American this year, so that's solid victory.
Is the transfer foreign kid playing? What's his name? again?
Caillou? No.
Yeah, Caillou.
No, I think they're just going to redshirt this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's big. He's 7
Yeah,
foot,
right. So up next, Myrtle Beach Invitational. That'll be a really good challenge. Liberty takes on a 2-0 Furman squad, who, remember, they beat UVA in the tournament last year.
They did.
They'll play them
that's
Thursday
right.
night. I think it's a 7 o'clock start.
Pack line defense.
So that'll be a really good test. One other thing on basketball, though. Darius McGee made his G League debut over the weekend for the Indiana Mad Ants.
Yeah.
15
gotta
points.
get that gear.
15 points.
Get
six,
out of here.
6 rebounds, 9 assists.
Couple
out of
great
here.
passes. Yeah.
15,
So-
6, and 9.
Yeah, so really good start. They got a win.
Go ahead, Darius.
So yeah,
All right,
good
dude.
start for him.
Darius gotta get on roster.
He might,
Another
yeah.
former Flame in the NFL, Demario Douglas, looking good on a couple.
He's the only guy on that offense that has looked good. He ended up leading them in receiving.
That was
Did he really?
I think so, yeah.
that was a rough.
The quarterback play in New
finish.
England.
It
not
is
good.
those last 2
good.
interceptions. That was painful, painful to watch.
He
But Demario's
does
that
not
bright
have
spot.
a lot of help.
No.
I mean, no knock on Demario, but I mean, he's a rookie receiver, and he's like slowly working his way up, becoming the guy.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, there was
not
a couple
great
third
spot
down.
to be in overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good for him.
Women's basketball lost to number 13 Texas this past weekend, 75-57. However, on November 10th, they beat Stephen F. Austin in overtime, 84-81.
That was. Can I say something on that
Yeah.
game? I didn't see the whole game. Just saw the last little bit of overtime. Let me run this one by you, Joe. So overtime. Let me set the scene.
Set the scene.
Liberty up 1, like 5 seconds left. Liberty ball trying to inbound. So they were trying to inbound on the sideline, couldn't get in, took a timeout. All right, we're gonna set something up, whatever. So they're huddling.
Yeah.
Stephen F. Austin, their girls, instead of going and huddling, they are trying to force their way into Liberty's huddle.
You're kidding.
Like trying to get all up
You're
in there. And so
kidding
you have
me.
staff members for Liberty like trying to like shadow them,
Box them out.
but keep them out of the huddle. And they're all trying to like force their way in. Like you have like coaches screaming at officials like, "Are you gonna let them do this?" And it got a little chippy down the stretch of that
I
way.
didn't know that.
So Liberty they inbound, they make their free throws, they win. And then once Stephen F. Austin, you're walking off, just like jacked a girl and it got chippy.
Whoa.
So that good win, tough environment.
Get our girls some
but
boxing
it was
just in case.
you don't see that very often.
You can send me some video on this.
might
Somebody's
have
got to
to.
have video. I want to see
Yeah.
it.
So good mental toughness
would
by the
that would
girls
get me fired
to get a
up.
win like that. Good start to the season.
The Lady Flames will play at North Carolina A&T Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of Sunday, if you're a Lynchburger and you're living here, Sunday they're doing a big thing downtown with like a bunch of Christmas lights and activities, food trucks. And your kids.
Do we have another advertiser?
no,
what are you
your
pitching
kids-
She's trying to
here?
everybody have
Just-
fun.
okay.
She just wants
It's
the
like-
kids to have fun.
It's the event
I
calendar.
just want the
wants-
kids to
yeah.
have fun.
Lynchburg event calendar. What is this?
I am just saying.
She
This
just wants to have
morning,
the kids have fun.
I did it this morning. I listened to
Hey, if
Christmas
your
music on
church
the
or
way.
group is having any fun Christmas, get-togethers, just send them to us. We'll get them on the Flame Central Podcast event calendar.
This podcast really needs to end, but this is what I have a problem with around this time of year with Matt Warner. Because we need a Christmas tree this year on the Flame Central podcast. Maybe Alcova Mortgage can power it because I go, Matt, we have a little extra money in our budget. Can I please buy
Never
us?
looked at our budget. You have no idea what's in our budget.
I want to buy a Christmas
we have a
tree.
little extra money.
I want a
She
Christmas
has
tree.
no idea what our budget is.
And then I'm trying to promote this Christmas event that kids can write letters to Santa and do all.
What?
And I am painting. That's going to be the tattoo that I put we buy to put all over his arm.
Did you
A
see-
Grinch,
The
a
Grinch.
big, massive Grinch on his
Did you
little baby
see-
bicep.
Did you see when you said maybe Alcova Mortgage could buy the Christmas tree? Did you see how fast he said, "Yeah, that's a great idea."
Yeah,
Come
because
on.
Matt Warner's like, oh, can we make some?
have as
Can you
much-
make a Christmas tree?
You have
out of
as much idea what the Alcova budget is as what the Flame Central budget is.
People in the building told me that you guys have enough money in the budget to buy a
Hey,
Christmas tree.
Scrooge, buy a Christmas
He
tree.
is so, I can't even say,
You a
hey
tiny
kids, want to
Tim
go
can take a
downtown? All right, so don't go downtown. That's what you need, a full bodysuit to be Grinch,
I was
scare all the
supporting you on that.
kids.
Do you notice that?
What?
I was supporting you. when
Thank
said
you.
that.
I just love Christmas, and I was in the Christmas spirit,
Good.
and you can't be in the Christmas spirit around here because Matt's a Grinch.
Pre-Thanksgiving.
Bold predictions. Can you please tell them why I won again?
Bold predictions, thanks to our Snell scoring system. Let me pull up the numbers. Emily did win again.
Gosh,
So
it's
she has
just
moved
getting
Hold on,
to the
really
top
hold
of the
on.
standings. Emily had a 35-17 Liberty win. Joe had 35-28.
It's almost too easy.
I had 27-24.
No.
Boy, the Monarchs, I thought they'd be better than that. But if they hadn't scored that last touchdown, speaking of ODU, we all would have been so far off. I think you still would have won, but it's not.
I think
not
we
a
had
lot-
our third
not a
string
lot to
defense
brag
in,
about
so
there.
whatever.
But yes, so
Hey,
Emily moves
I'll
to the
tell you
front.
what. I saw Liberty coach Bobby Ruff
Yeah.
right before the game started.
right, you told me that.
And I said to him, I said, Coach, tell me what's your gut? What's your gut really telling? And he was very direct with me. He said, I'm thinking 38-14. That's what he said. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
38-10, right?
We should ask him before we do this.
Yeah.
And it's time to get to the mailbag.
Mailbag.
Every time I make you smile, turn around, mailbag.
I did pretty well with that last week.
That was pretty good. Here's a question. Our buddy David Flagg emailed. He was talking about the disrespect in the standings. We've covered that already in the rankings. He wants to know, how do you think this Liberty team would have stacked up with the 2020
Oh, these are good questions.
or 2021 teams? Like those teams from or even last year, the last few years, this last era, if you will, where Liberty's been ranked.
Man, that's a
How
really
would
good question.
So I guess it was 20 and 22 we were ranked.
Well,
How
Malik
would this
Willis
team-
years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Antonio
Well, last year
Gandy
wasn't.
Golden. I
So
feel
the two
like
teams we were ranked. 20 we got ranked with Malik,
Yeah.
and then his junior year, and then last year we got ranked with the
Yeah.
4 quarterback juggling
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
JB, I'd say JB number one.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Emily.
I don't know, because like I just feel like when that Antonio Gandy Golden, he was really the Flames' only
He was so
threat offensively, but he was so good. But he was actually at the game on Saturday. But and then if you're looking at like Day, like if you had to say Day or Quentin Cooley, like I think I'm kind of going with Cooley.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This team is just
It is.
this. I think the difference is this offensive line. Like this offensive line. Do you see how much time Caden had to throw the ball on Saturday? I mean, he had a picnic. There was one time he was
Turkey
making a
sandwich.
turkey sandwich.
It's tough to say because Malik was kind of, you felt like that one-man game changer. But then Caden Salter's about to have a
know.
season that even Malik didn't have.
Yeah.
I think
The
I'm going with
defense
this.
had more dudes on, I think, on those teams than currently. Would you say that?
My stance would be that this offense, right, is much more potent and much, even with Malik,
And more consistent,
right?
probably.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder to defend.
Yeah.
The defense, and this isn't a knock on Liberty's defense this year, because what Kyle Krantz and Skylar McGee are doing with this defense, you're talking about a mass exodus in the transfer portal wise. You're talking about very few guys. They're playing with last year's backups, right? Very few guys that had much experience.
And not much depth.
And not a lot of depth.
Yeah.
They've had Kenny Charles been injured. They have injuries. They're banged up in the second. They've had all kinds of stuff go on. And for them to play as well as they're playing is an incredible testimony to them. However, the defenses that they've had those couple years were really good. Those are some really good defenses.
Yeah.
Question is, could that defense stop this Liberty offense?
Ooh,
I
that's a
mean,
good question.
could those defenses stop this Liberty offense? Is what you're really like when you had
Darrell
Ahmad Walker and
Johnson,
Darrell Johnson, Mike Smith Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good question. And if you had to pin me down right now, I honestly would say I think that this year's team would beat them.
I agree, just
I
because
think
we
so,
haven't
too.
seen
I think
anybody
they beat
stop
them. Yeah.
Really? I
I think right now at this point in the season, once again, it's an offense you do not want to play against.
Yeah.
They're going to score.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mark Murdoch asked, is this the first home football game played in December in Liberty football history? Speaking of the championship, no. Back in 2018, 2018, we called it LU against Norfolk State on December 1st. That game got moved for like a hurricane or something early in the year, got moved to the end. Remember, that was a game, there was so much fog, and then they would shoot the fireworks off after a touchdown, and the smoke would sit there. Joe and I couldn't see the field from the booth.
Couldn't see it.
You legitimately could not see the
He's
field
trying
from
to
the
do the
booth.
play-by-play.
incredible.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And so that was the last December game back in 2018.
How about that?
So I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. The bill email we need to print out and have.
I have it here, but do you want me to just hit some of the finer points real fast? We got a great email from a guy
It
named
was
Bill.
so good, and it's really just.
I'll skip.
Wild Bill?
Well,
What
no.
is he? Do you want me to read the part about what he says about Joe?
No. We don't need to read about that. Joe and I hear this stuff all the time. But let's get to what he said about Emily. After going on and on about Joe and I's professionalism and humor and good looks, all that. He said,
Thanks, Bill.
he says, but here's the deal. Listen to this, Emily. Listen. Those two would be lost without Emily. The glue that keeps them from falling off the page. Quick to laugh at herself, but more importantly, to make the other two look good. She is simply, and I quote, the sea salt bomb in a bag of potato chips.
This is unbelievable.
He goes on. It is her understated knowledge. First time you've ever been described as understated, by the way. Her understated knowledge of sports that shines as her commentary reveals a depth of understanding far beyond the average fan. And that's often revealed by game day observations and piercing questions that display the scope of her sports expertise. In the end, to summarize, it is Emily's incredible management skills that make her the queen of the court.
This is unbelievable.
As Matt and Joe often have no idea that she is actually the captain of the ship and they are her crew. I would object with a couple of the things he said, but overall, I think he's on point.
Oh my gosh, your mic's falling there. Oh my gosh, that like when Matt, because usually it comes in, he's like, hey Matt.
You'd already heard all this.
Usually he'll come in and he'll be like, hey, I'm getting a lot of people saying like you talk about yourself too much or you relate with everything.
Don't do that.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't tell her about it either.
Hey, people say you talk over everyone, your voice is obnoxious, those kind of things. So when I got this, I was like, oh my gosh, someone likes me. I love you, Bill.
Yeah.
No, I'm
so
kidding.
there you go.
No, it was a really sweet email. I think the sea salt part, I lost it.
I'm just getting a little choked up right now.
Okay, thanks so much for listening and watching.
Wait,
we got to do bold predictions. And Flames fantasy. Gosh, we got to.
You're the glue.
All right, let's just.
I am the captain
Let's just
now.
cut to the chase in Flames fantasy.
Joe kicked tail this week.
It was Joe's best week, and he was still 15 points behind Emily. CJ Daniels.
The glue.
CJ Daniels scored more by himself than
Are you
Joe did
kidding
as a
me?
team. Yeah, no.
Did you add up Caden Salter's points to give him those?
yeah.
No, do you want? We need to settle on this. By the way,
we
Joe's
already
going to
did
have to
settle.
make some changes due to injuries
Yeah,
to his
I'll make
roster.
changes.
But
So we'll
what do we
update
wanna
you on
do?
those
You want to do
changes.
the last two games we get? What if we just did
Last two games?
Salter? Do we want to do touchdowns? Because once you start throwing yardage in there,
No, you do it like you do a regular fantasy.
fantasy quarterback stats.
He needs all the help that he
I'm
can
like
get, y'all.
400 points behind.
You are about almost 200 points.
I'm
down.
200 points behind. Just give me the Salter points. Jeez.
Yeah. All right. We'll do it. We'll do it. Bold
You're
predictions.
so convincing.
What do we got for next week?
Bold predictions, UMass. I haven't even looked at this team, so you can go first.
I can tell you real fast, UMass does not do a real good job against the run. They give up 5.5 yards a carry, over 200 yards
that's
per
not
game on the
good.
ground. So that's
boy.
that probably does
Wait,
not
what'd you?
bode
I'm
well.
sorry. Can you
don't worry
repeat
about it.
that?
They struggle against the run. I can go first if you
boy,
want.
really did it good this time.
Was that your Elmer Fudd? Is that what was that?
No.
Hey,
The
what
jerky boys.
did you say about their struggling
They
to
struggled
stop
to
the
stop the
run?
run. Here's what I got.
What- all right.
Here's my prediction. Based off of my previous Liberty's got to put the pedal down, I say 55-13 Liberty, 7, count them, 7 total touchdowns for Caden Salter.
Responsible for 7.
Responsible, right.
No, that's not going to happen. Okay, that's a ridiculous bold prediction, but
Why do you say that?
because he's going to hand the ball off to Cooley and the rest of the crew.
He's going to run into, he's going to throw for like 5.
I mean, that'd be something else. Okay. Oh, I'm going bold.
Do it, Joe.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm keeping it simple,
Keep
and
it simple.
I'm going bold. Liberty is going to win this game.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
62-14.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to put the pedal down.
Right.
They're making a statement.
Yeah.
And Quentin Cooley is going to score. I'm going to go.
This is bold.
The older folks will know what I'm talking about with this. The older folks will listen to this, and they'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to go Married with Children, Al Bundy, 5 touchdowns.
5 TDs.
Yes. Polk High School, Al Bundy, 5 touchdowns for
Okay.
Quentin Cooley.
Okay. All right. And,
There are some older folks that know this
They'll
show,
know.
Married with
Yeah.
Children, that are going to laugh they're going to laugh a lot about that.
all right. And what do we got?
All right, I guess I'll go 59-13.
Okay.
A lot of points.
A lot of points.
A lot of points.
We're
And
going to be busy.
Cooley will.
Oh, we're going Cooley. I already went Cooley. Go somebody else. Go to your
Oh,
worst.
you said Cooley scoring
Yeah.
5?
Yeah, go CJ Daniels or somebody like that. He's going to go off.
But they can't stop the run. You have to understand the stats.
Yeah, we're still. I don't understand. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't understand the stats.
I'm kidding.
It's her
I'm
understated.
Without you.
It's her
What would I do without you?
understated
Not be able to
knowledge of
understand the
sports.
stats.
Yeah.
But then I'll text Joe and I'm like, hey, in the coach's call, he was describing. Can you please describe what hitting your keys or whatever I asked? You're like,
that was a good question.
No, that was a really good
Understated
response.
sports knowledge. Yeah, good.
Okay, I'm gonna say CJ Daniels and Quentin Cooley will both have. No, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, they'll combine for
42 points.
35 points.
Okay.
So 5 touchdowns. Would you just let me simplify that? 5 touchdowns?
Well, I didn't know.
Or do you think one might kick a field goal? They'll combine for 5 TDs.
That's actually really funny.
It's good.
That's actually
It's good
all
that we're
right,
getting
all
this
right,
thing back on track.
Yeah.
Understated.
Understated.
Okay, I'll do.
I just hit send. You want me, are you
No,
changing
that's
it again?
That's it. Just leave it. That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
5
That's
total
good.
TDs.
That's perfect.
That's good.
I was gonna
Cooley
do
for
more of their
3.
yards. Like,
Yeah, however it
for
works
3.
out.
Cooley's probably gonna rush
Cooley for
more
3.
200.
Daniels for 2.
Right.
Can you
Easy.
imagine Cooley over 200? No, we're gonna destroy.
How many
him
yards
so
does Cooley have so far this year? What's
think
what's
he
the
went
number?
over-
He went over 1,000
1,000,
this past game. I think.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Quentin Cooley. 1,000.
Congrats to this
Yeah.
offensive line. You guys are crushing it. Thanks so much for listening or watching. We'll be back on the call this week. See
Yes.
us Sunday downtown for the Kids Fest.
It's the Flames. It's the
Matt's gonna
Central.
be the Grinch.
It's the podcast.
And it's powered by Alcova Mortgage. We'll see you guys.